Hello and welcome to Labor Matters. Today, the 3rd March of 2024. So today is a very special day. As you can see on set, we are very different and we are not running with the usual big topics and hard topics. Today we are basically just chatting with our colleagues, the children, because today is their very special day. And today in the studio, I'm being joined with a group of wonderful kids who are going to be sharing their stories with us, telling themselves about what their aspirations are, even when they grow up, what they want to become. Because on this platform, while we look at employment, we are also saying the children are the future employees and the children are the future employers. And they are also going to be running businesses or pursuing whatever it is that they would like to pursue as they grow up. So, in the studio with me are these wonderful children that are going to start introducing themselves and talking about themselves. So today is not my show really, it's a show for the children because it is International Day for them for broadcasting, as it is known on every first Sunday of March. So my dear friends, let's start with you, John. Maybe you can talk to the viewers, say hi to them, and even tell them a little bit more about yourself, including what you may want to become when you grow up.
Alright.
Yeah.
My name is John Kiruja, and I live in Kawata, and I'm currently at the school Cheshire Homes, and I'm 13 years old. When I grow up, I would like to be a surgeon doctor, specifically a neurosurgeon, because I would like to improve people who have maybe even brain disorder, brain disabilities. I would like to improve their lives. I would like to make them better, and I would just want to make them happy, you know? Yeah, that's my passion.
That's very good. I'm glad, and we are really looking forward to you become that neurosurgeon.
I will.
It's a beautiful field. It requires you to really do everything that you need to do to study very well and to get good grades. So at the end of the day, you can then help the people like you have said. It is a very beautiful thing.
We will help so many people.
Yeah?
Yeah.
No, we're looking forward to our next surgeon. You know how the brain works?
Still learning.
You're still learning?
Yeah.
Very good. Because then when you become that surgeon, you have to now learn how to look at the whole brain, open the brain, see how it affects all the body parts, even how people think, so that you can help them better.
It's gonna be a fun job.
That's very good. Yes, my friends. Tell people your name and also what your passions are.
My name is Cornelius. I'm in grade 6. And when I grow up, I would like to be a physiotherapist. So that I will help people with disabilities. That's why I have to say for myself.
That's very good. So you have interacted with a physiotherapist, they have helped you?
No, I've just seen a lot of physiotherapists.
You have seen them helping other people, right?
Yes.
That's very
I
good.
like to do the same.
That's very good. I actually have a friend of mine. My nephew is also doing that kind of work. It is a very fulfilling job because you help other people who have challenges. And in that way, you also help them with movements and all those kind of things. Very good. Our powerful ladies.
My name is Sandra and I'm in grade 6. When I grow up, I would like to be a surgeon doctor. I'll be helping people with disabilities by operating them. Yeah.
That's very good. So you can see that we have a lot of surgeons and people here who are looking forward to growing up and starting to help others, and that is very good to know. Our lady.
Okay. My name is Tanga Piri. I'm 11 years old. I'm in grade 6. And I'm from Cheshire Homes, Kablonga. So when I grow up, I want to be an artist for painting. I like drawing. If you come at my home, in my room, you'll find drawings, so many of them. And I also want to be a veterinary doctor. I like animals so much. Yes.
That's very good. So next time we want to also even see the paintings. It was a pity today we couldn't get them on set. We should have put them here nicely so that people can see. But I think for those of you who have heard, they can come to Cheshire Homes and even check out your paintings, right?
Yes.
Very good, very good. What would you guys like to say to the people in terms of how they help people who have disabilities, like children, and so on?
I would like to say that they shouldn't, they should believe in God. Yes, they should not look down on themselves that they know they cannot do it, but they can do it. God knows that they can do it. So they shouldn't be looking down on themselves. Doesn't matter how you look or how you are. God cares. You can do it. Yes,
that's very, very true. So you have heard, even you kids who are out there, if you have a problem, you have a disability, like our colleagues here, like you have heard, continue believing in yourself and just know that you too can make it. It doesn't matter your situation, you too can still make it. And just follow what the elders are telling you so that you apply yourself. If you need to read, please read a lot. And also just try to learn as many things as you can, which can help you in future. And what words do we have for
Cheshire homes and all the institutions that are looking after children with such kind of challenges too?
They're doing a very great job. Giving a child the privilege to education is a really big thing, because when they grow up, they'll have a chance to be something big in life. As you've said, most of us will be doctors, most of us will be lawyers, most of us will be artists, most of us will be presidents. So all of that only comes with education, and their care is really good. We really love what they are doing, and they should really continue.
Thank you so much. And actually, we can confirm the care is very good. I did for so many years. I was also a child at some point in Cheshire Homes, and I was helped a lot. So we just want to say thank you so much to Cheshire Homes and so many other organizations and institutions that are helping children with special needs, children with disabilities, and all those parents and guardians who are also helping in their own special way. We really call upon everyone to make sure that they can really help the children so that they become the future leaders of this nation. My dear friends, any of your final words to your friends? You can say hi to your friends or to your parents, your guardians, or the people looking after you. Starting with you, you can say your hi's to your friends, and then we will be closing very soon.
Okay, I'm saying hi to everyone who is watching me. And I'm very happy for this day. I'm very, very happy and excited.
We are also very, very happy that you made it, and we are glad to also meet you.
Thank you.
Yes, madam.
So what I would like to say is that I would like to say thank you to my mom for raising me to this age, 11 years old.
Thank you so much, Mom. You have heard. The baby is very thankful for everything you've done. Yes, sir.
I would like to say bye to everyone and encourage them about being not looking down about God. As Tonga said.
That's very good. Yes, sir.
I would just like to encourage them to have faith, to believe in themselves, because everything starts from the mind. Then once your mind is ready to do something, you do it with very good results. People should just be confident in everything they do because they're worth it.
Yeah. No, please, let's clap for ourselves. That's a very good thing. Alright, our dear viewers, that was our little special edition of children as we talk about the careers that they should be pursuing. We are very happy here on Labor Matters, and we can only thank our special guests who have joined us, and you have heard for yourselves. It really doesn't matter who you are, what kind of situation you are in. What matters is really what is up here in your mind and how you continue applying yourself, because the physical challenges that might be there are things that come sometimes where we have no control, but we can keep on improving ourselves becoming the best versions of ourselves, and in due time we become somebody in this society. We can only call upon everyone, like we said before, to continue supporting not only the children, but even adults who may have challenges and physical disabilities and all these kind of things that could make life a little bit challenging for our colleagues. As they say, you never know what your friend is going through. So let us remember to be kind to each other. Let us remember that even when we are all okay, we will never know what our friend is going through. So from all of us here in the studio and my colleagues here, it is really goodbye, and we'll see you, and thank you so much for everybody who has joined us. We'll be seeing you just after a commercial break when we meet another group of, again, talented youth, children that we are going to be with on this program.
and gentlemen, welcome back to the special edition of Labor Matters. Today is Children's Day, as you know, and we are talking about Children's Career Guidance with me, your host, Lusungu Pasua, and
Jean Wendy Chilembo, and our guest this afternoon is Mr. Owen Kabanda.
So, it is our pleasure being here. Sir, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here and to be with you.
Thank you. So, Mr. Kabanda, government has called on all stakeholders to fully participate in this year's Children's Day of Broadcasting to amplify our voices on the matters affecting our well-being.
With your over 15 years of HR consulting and management experience, we want to hear more from you about career choices for children.
Thank you so much. I'm actually glad to be here, and yeah, let's see how this goes. It is the first of its kind.
So, sir, today being Children's Day of Broadcasting, that comes every first Sunday of March, how do you feel being interviewed by a child?
It's really a great honor for me, and I'm actually happy because then we get to interact with young people, and we're just looking forward to a great time.
Okay, sir, thank you.
How was it for you growing up? What did you want to become when you grew up?
Yeah, so for me, I grew up in the village actually, in northern province of Zambia, Mukosa specifically, and greetings to my family, relatives and friends there. I grew up on the farm, basically going to school from there. Over the weekends, we'll be looking after the animals, the cattle, even on school holidays. So growing up on the farm, one thing that was, and there it was like in the village, and in those days, even the network was very bad in terms of even radio. We used to listen a lot to BBC by then. So at some point, I thought I would become a journalist. So I'll practice a lot, thinking that I will get a chance to go in BBC. But also, my sister was a nurse, so I also wanted to become a doctor at some point. So really, during that time, there were a lot of things that I wanted to become. When I went to secondary school, I liked the course, the subject in agriculture. So I also thought I should, when I finish, I will become maybe an agriculturist, or So those are the kind of things I was looking at. But of course, as you know, growing up in the village, there are not so many options. So usually you would think maybe you end up being a teacher or a nurse or such kind of careers is really what we were exposed to at the time of growing up in the village.
Yes. Okay. So, sir, as a psychologist, specifically a neuropsychologist, what do you think affects a child's career choices?
Yeah, so when it comes to career choices, and just even talking really apart from career choices, it's a personality of a human being. As a child, the personality of that child and eventually the career choices will highly be affected by the family as number one. What we're talking about is in the family where this child is growing up. You are seeing the parents when they are going for work. So that becomes the primary or the basis where you're seeing maybe if your parents are teachers, you also want to become a teacher, or if your parents they are miners, or they're in construction, or maybe it's an engineer, or they're in business, selling things. So that first part, family, really starts to influence how a child will look at careers and even their aspirations in future. Apart from that, you have the region, the second influence here. The region, the church has also that big influence on the personality of the child, and also even their career choices. As you go to church, you are also being taught how to be good with God, how to be good with other people in society, how to be helpful to others. So that sometimes starts also to influence what you may want to become in future. The third influence you can also talk about is, the society itself. So where the child is growing up, that also affects not only their personality, as I've said, but also it starts to affect their career choices. So if you're growing up in the village, like I was saying, where you don't see a lot of options, you end up thinking on your own, what is there is just maybe being a teacher or being an agriculturist or whatever it is, because you don't have a lot of options. So that society where you're growing up, your friends, your peers, in the place where you stay, even if it is in town, depending on where again you even stay in town, that could also influence your career choices as a child. Apart from that, the fourth one is really the media and technology. As you know now, there's these things, we have the TVs, so as a child is able to watch on TV. We have all those series of construction, engineering, police, and all those videos that the children get to watch. Technology also, even on the phones, on the iPads. So technology has also come on board to actually influence a lot about how the child thinks about these careers. On top of all that also, it's just generally the exposure of the child in terms of who they are interacting with and how those could affect really their choices in future.
Yes. You mentioned family influences. How can parents influence a child's earlier career perspectives?
Yeah, so as a child, when you are growing up in a house, in the home, you will see that every day your parent is going for work. So that in itself starts to define for this child what work really is. Your father or your mother, or if you don't have your parents, maybe you're staying with your guardians, you will see that every day they are waking up, they are going to work, or they are going to do business. So like I said, you start that for the child, that's the world they see. That's what they see as the work that is there. And that's why it's important even for the parents, like we always say, to make sure that the parents can be helping the child to even understand the work that they do. We know that sometimes people don't even have chance to sit down and discuss with the child, to tell the child, okay, when I leave home, I go to work, this is what I do. That first part is very, very important for the child to start having some idea around what really work is. And this is also one thing from the HR side. We encourage companies, if they can, if there are those, where they can bring children to work, if it is allowable, it's also a very good thing. Because now the child can say, oh, this is what it means when my father comes to work or my mother comes to work. But that is if it is a safe thing to do. Because in some workplaces, it's very dangerous. So you have to look at the safety measures. But in some places where they can be brought, that is okay. The child can come to the workplace and they will see, oh, this is what my parents actually do. Yeah.
So, sir, earlier you talked about how limited career options are for children according to the area in which they live. So what strategies do you think parents can employ to help children discover more career options for them?
Yeah, so when it comes to career choices, really, we are, first of all, let's look at where we are here in Africa, in Zambia. We may be exposed to a limited amount of careers. So, for the parents, for instance, if you are a parent who is a teacher, that is really what you know. If you are a parent who is an engineer, that is really what you know. You can be a parent who is a policeman, or a nurse, or a doctor, and so on. So the job that the parent does, that is really what they know. And what starts to happen is, either this parent will like that job so much, and they would want even the child to do that job. Sometimes the parent may hate that job so much also, where they say, it's just because I really need to make money, but if I had the choice, I wouldn't want to do this job. So again, that is what they can project on the child. So what is really the issue is that as parents, we may not be exposed to so many options in terms of careers, in terms of jobs. So what is really encouraged for the parents and guardians is that they should take time, first of all, take interest in their child and what the child really wants to do. Take interest in researching a little bit more on the various careers that could be there, what kind of jobs could be there. Because one thing to understand is that the jobs that we have now might not be the jobs we have in future. Also, the jobs that were there in the past, they were very nice jobs, and there was the job security. Once you, like our parents, once they started work, they will work until they retire, everything was okay. But maybe those jobs are fading away, or there are new jobs that are coming, also with technology. So what we encourage parents is that you need to invest your time. We know parents come home and they are very tired. Really, to start even talking about issues of careers with their children, sometimes it can be a challenge, because really the parent is tired. But it's important to invest in explaining the jobs that could be there. And if you can't, again, you can bring on board a professional. Maybe talk to the teachers, or tell the child to, and we're talking of a whole range from the young ones to those who are in grade 10, 12, and university. Have those conversations. Maybe they can have even mentors. Sometimes it also requires even going online. Either we can go online and start searching, what does this job really entail? As a parent, there has to be some interest. Sometimes it requires reading different books, or giving the child those books if they can read, so that they start to understand the various jobs that can be there, and jobs that are available in the area. Like if you're in Zambia, what kind of jobs can we have? Also, what could be the jobs which could be outside? So what we are encouraging the parents in this particular regard is to spend a bit of time and have that time with the child, and also try to understand even the child. This child, what does she like, or what does he like? So that even as they are, looking at all these other options that could be there, they can then have a better conversation with their child.
Yes. Yeah. In your experience, how does the education system and interactions with teachers shape a child's views on professions?
Yeah, so when it comes to our education system, let's talk about just from an early age. You have a child maybe starting baby class, or going to grade 1, 2, and so on, up to maybe grade 7. Just at that early age, the child has a very unique view about the teacher. If you see sometimes children, what they even tell you, the father will say, or the mother at home will say, no, you need to do this, and the child will say, no, but my teacher said. And there is always all those kind of arguments. By my little girl at home, sometimes when you tell her, this is, no, but my teacher also said. So because the teacher has such huge influence on the child, because that's what the child is seeing, and they are spending a lot of time with the teachers, sometimes even more than the parents, because maybe the child will be with the parents just over the weekend, or maybe when the parents knock off, but the whole day this child was with a teacher. So the teacher becomes very influential, and that's why when we talk about the influence of the teacher, let's say from grade 1 to grade 7, the teacher has to really help the children, and not just limiting them to maybe just pushing them in one direction in terms of career, but help them to explore different options that could be there. Because at that point they're just ready. The child is just saying, I don't want to be a policeman, I want to become this. Some I want to also be a teacher, because they see the teacher doing those things. From let's say grade 8 to 12, the child at that point has started to know more, to read more, and to look at various, they have watched more about professions and jobs which are there. Their view again could be expanded. So even at that point, in secondary schools, you have those career guidance teachers who are there to help the children. Again, our encouragement is that those career guidance, the counselors, they also need to be looking at more and more about what is the child interested in, and also what are the strengths of this child, what can they possibly do. Again, not using your personal opinion, where I say, for me, because I like HR, so every child who comes, I should tell them they should do human resources. No, it shouldn't be like that. Every child might be interested in different things. When we come to the children who are in university, those who are in university, again, the lecturers there, or the teachers, the lecturers also still have a lot of influence, because the lecturers, they are like role models at that point. I remember even when I was in university, Dr. Chigunda will be talking, may he so rest in peace. And I'm like, okay, this is the way we look at development studies. I had the Professor Sepo in psychology, and so many other lecturers. They still shape how you see the professions and which way you want to eventually go. But the key points to everything I'm saying is that the teachers and the lecturers have a huge responsibility in shaping the children's choices around careers, and that's why we're saying they should think consciously about what they say and how they encourage the children in school.
So, as you said, so can you share how early experiences and influences such as role models contribute to a child's initial career thoughts?
Yeah, so children also, as they are growing up, they tend to have their own role models. They might not even say, this is my role model. Like they will not pronounce it, but it's in the way when they are around that person or when they see this person. So you have a situation where a child, even at an early age, they see someone, see the way they do those, like they're acting out. They will get a helmet if you have a helmet in the home, or sometimes they even just get a plate or so they will put on their head because they want to look as engineers, because they have that one engineer that they like. And that person, the role model, could be a person who's actually present. Or it could be someone they have been watching on TV, because that person does things that they really like. You know, like at a very early age, you have maybe Bob the Builder, and the child will be there practicing, oh, this is how I can be a builder or an engineer or a construction worker. Or you'll be watching, it will be a movie where there is this gentleman or a lady who is a lawyer or a doctor. So the role models, both physical or online, they really influence the child's perception about the careers. You will find sometimes, even when we talk about even journalism, like I was even saying, even at an early age, for me, I'll be listening. At that time, there was no even TV in our place; it was in the village. But just listening. Oh, okay. So this is how journalists talk, and we'll be practicing listening to the BBC. And those they are specific role models that I had, even if I had never seen them, but just their voices. So it is always going to be a big issue around career choices, and that's why when I mentioned parents taking interest, you want to, as a parent, as you interact with your child, you are also understanding who is their role model. It doesn't have to be the father or the mother or the person and for the parents, again, don't feel bad when you're asking a child and the child says, I really like maybe that man or that person on TV or my uncle or my friend's father. It is not like an insult, but that's the person they're looking up to. So the key issue is, how does now this role model start to help the child? And that's why I was also saying that the parents need to take that interest, because sometimes that role model can also be doing other things which for the child will not know. And when I talk about other things that might not be so good. So you have to also make sure that you are helping the child even as they look at that role model in terms of how they see the careers that the role model is doing.
For children in secondary schools who may be going in the world, what is your advice to them on career choices?
Okay, yeah, so for the children who have grown up now and they are in secondary school, so that place, that is the time that is actually very, very exciting. You know, you are no longer in primary school. If you have gone past grade 9, you are now grade 10, grade 11, grade 12, you are actually now saying we are going to be going into the world. So that very time is actually a time that you can build yourself for the better as a young person, or you can also start destroying yourself. So for my friends, the young people, it is important to remember that you have to be in a space where you look at how you keep on improving yourself. Now, because we are talking about careers, as a young person, it's important to, at that point, and I'm going to talk from grade 8 to 12, you have to now say, where do I want to go? If you have a chance even to be exposed to certain way of working, maybe during the holidays, go and find out, how do the people do this? Okay? How do people do this? How do people do this kind of a job? If you are in school, you can still be reading up on those things. Because the importance of understanding the careers, it's important that you start looking at that career or that job you want to come and start doing versus your own abilities. So, what we mean by this is, are you strong in mathematics? Are you strong in English or geography or science or physics or whatever it is that you are doing at that point? Because the job you want to become or that career you want to pursue when you finish your high school will be influenced by your marks in some cases. Okay? By this we mean, as an example, if you say I want to become an engineer and you have been failing in mathematics, clearly that will not work, because engineering, even the sciences, you want to become a doctor, they require you to pass very well in mathematics or to pass well in these sciences and so on. And so, if you are looking at the career, you are looking at what you want to become in future. When you are in that secondary school, it is important you sit down and say, what is it that I like? Yes, I like, if I like agriculture, I should make sure that I pass well in agriculture. If I am dreaming of becoming an engineer, then I should become very good in those subjects that can help you to get into college or university to go and do those kind of courses that you want to do. Or you want to become a lawyer, you want to become a teacher, you want to become an artist, whatever it is. You need at that point to sit down and start looking at which subjects do you want to improve in. And also, you cannot also just be studying one subject, because now I have to be an engineer, so I should just be studying mathematics or science, and then you fail in everything else. So we're talking about these careers. It's important that again you are balanced. You make out your study timetable properly and nicely, so that you are balanced and you come and get good grades. Because again, things are quite competitive as we stand in terms of going to these colleges and universities. So it's important, because at the end of the day, if you don't do very well in that secondary school, you will find that then you have no choice. You wanted to become maybe a doctor, but the grades you have, they are not good enough for you to do to pursue that course. In the end, you do something, you end up going to study something else, and then you are so frustrated. So it's really important that you are at that point, grade 9, grade 10, grade 11, grade 12, you make sure that you know you are thinking of where you want to be, so that what you are studying helps you to get your good marks that then can help you to go into that career that you dream about.
Yeah, so as we have heard from Mr. Kabanda, one should always know their strengths when choosing a career. So viewers, don't forget to join in the conversation by texting your views and questions to the number on your screen. So Mr. Kabanda, when children are going to college or university, should parents dictate their career choices even when the child disagrees?
That one is usually a big challenge. Because really, it is said that the one who pays determines what should be done. If you are not the one who's paying, why are you also saying I want to go and start something else? That is usually the understanding, and that's where now also challenges start. So when you are going to college, at the time you'll be going to college, I'll start with a child. The child needs to sit down first of all with the parents, even just at the time you finish, even before you finish your grade 12. It's important as a child to have conversations with the parents or your guardians if you are being kept by people who are not your biological parents. You explain to them okay, when I was at school, I developed interest in this. I would like to actually become an engineer, or maybe I want to be a mechanical, electrical person, or whatever it is you want to do, or I want to become a lawyer, depending, even before the results come out. Having that conversation, it starts to help you as a child to see where your parents are standing when it comes to what they think about your career. Ideally, you should have been discussing career options way before. Even as early as grade 8, grade 9, you'll be talking about these things. But let's assume now you're going to college. Maybe you didn't have a chance to discuss with the parents. At this point, you sit down with the parents, have a conversation. I'm interested in studying this and this and this because of this and this. You give them the reason. And also, like we were just from saying, hopefully your results also can support what you want. The importance of you as a child even raising that conversation, even before the results come out, is it helps you to see where your parents stand in those kind of things. It also helps your parents to see your reasoning and your desires. Now, coming to the parents, when the child comes and says they may want to study this and that, ordinarily parents, because like you said, because they're the ones who are paying, so, and they have been exposed to a certain level of careers. Maybe like we're saying, if you're growing up in the village, you didn't know so many jobs, or even if you're in town, you're not exposed to so many jobs. So for the parent, when the child says they may want, this child says, no, I would want to study this and this and this, the thing that comes to the parent is, when can this child actually find a job? After they study, where are they going to find a job? What will happen with all the money that is spent in college and university? Also, if the child finishes and they don't find a job, then what happens? So generally the parents have a lot of concern. And because, remember, we were saying sometimes parents don't have a lot of exposure to the different careers. The parent can also just say, no, you are going to study this. Now, this is where we encourage parents to say, have a conversation with the child. In as much as a parent may want the child to study something, it's important to now sit down and say, okay, let's go over your interest. When the child explains, the parent also, or the guardian also explains, you have a conversation. Because sometimes the child might not have just gotten more information about the world of work. Okay, this is why we say that first, that the parents and guardians should also invest in helping the children to know more about the world of work. As the parent is explaining, the child may come to have an understanding to say, oh, okay, actually my parents are right, so maybe I should study this. But also, from that conversation, sometimes it's the parent who also can change their mind. As a child is saying, look, daddy or mommy or uncle or auntie or whoever is keeping the child. As the child is explaining, then the guardian or the parent will say, oh, okay, I actually see the reason in what you're saying. What we encourage is, it shouldn't be an issue of emotions. No, you just like to, whatever you want to. No, remember, you're a child. You have to also find a way to talk in a respectful manner to the parents, so that they understand your point of view. And also for the parents, our view, again, like we have said, it's not just a matter of saying, I've told you what I've told you, and I'm the one who's paying. Because what starts to happen is that when the child goes to study things that they didn't like at the end of the day, they really will not put in their level best. And at the end, they're just failing, and it is very frustrating again for the parent, because they'll feel they were spending without getting any return.
Any advice to parents about children wanting non-traditional paths like sports, music, or entrepreneurship instead of traditional education?
That one is usually, I think now we are even in a space where we are able to see that, okay, even people who have not gone to, to these colleges and university to study accounting, engineering, and human resource or whatever, we are now seeing more and more that people are actually able to make money. When you look at just a couple of years ago, those things we are not so much exposed, especially in Zambia. So by default, the parent would want the child to study what is what we all know. Go into school, college, university, study this because they know that you get a job. But really, with where we have reached and where we are standing now, I do think that it's important that the parent listens to the child, but also consults. As a parent, they can also consult professionals who can maybe guide them, because it is not really a crime to go a route of this non-traditional route, where maybe a child wants to now go and do music. We've seen our colleagues, the Yomaps of this world, the Makitus, the Slapdis, and so many other music icons we have in Zambia who are actually making money from music. We have seen the footballers and the netballers, those who are also actually making money from sports. They are not in the offices. And some of them are actually making more money than the people who are working in the office up to retirement age. There are people who are doing ICT things. So, in other words, what we are saying is that what is key for parents is, first of all, to encourage the child to at least get the basic education, because even if you are going to go into the world of business, or you are going to be playing soccer, or you are going to do music, or you are going to be doing painting or singing, whatever it is, you at least need some basic education, because that helps you even to understand the transactions you're doing, the money that comes in, because you can also end up being duped by the people who have more education. So that education also helps you even as you interact with the customers or the sponsors of your brand, as it may be. So yes, it is not a crime to go the non-traditional route for the child.
So, Mr. Kabanda, do you have any advice to children who might be fearing unhappiness with their chosen careers?
Yeah, so careers as they are, it's sometimes it's important to look at it this way. There are people who start off, even when you finish as a child, there are times, even adults, they could have started engineering, but now they are in marketing. They studied accounting, but now they're doing just something contrary to what they studied. So those things, they happen. So as a child, don't put so much pressure on yourself. As things unfold, you start actually seeing a clear path. And also it's about how you use, even when you get that qualification, how you use it for purposes of making your life better and the life of those around you.
Is it okay for a child to do internships or attachment to learn about the work of the world?
Yes, so internships can be done actually as we look at the world of work. A child needs to be exposed to internships, because especially if you have gone beyond 16 years, not for children. Of course, remember there are laws that guide what the protection against child labor in the country. So it's important that as a child, the internship we're talking about are those that maybe when you're in college and university, so that you can get some experience, and they are a requirement for you to even graduate. Those internships, they help you to gain skills that are useful in the world of work.
So we quickly dive into our text message section to see if we have any views from our viewers out there. While we are doing so, Mr. Kabanda, do you have any last words of encouragement for children and parents looking forward to careers going forward?
Yeah, so I think when it comes to the careers and the children and really the parents, first of all, it's important to understand, and I think also in the interest of time, we might not be able to read all the text messages. For the children, like we said, we encourage children to really study hard, also invest in learning even other skills, invest in learning in about business. I know that we have not really been exposed to the world of business, because that is the way our school curriculum is designed. But our encouragement to children is study hard, learn the world of work, know what careers could be there, so that then becomes your motivation. Because when you know that you want to become a doctor, you know what you have to study. When you know you want to become this kind of a person, you know what has to be done. And at the moment, we are actually going now into a space where now there is a lot of technology, artificial intelligence. So the jobs we are talking about today, they will even evolve. What that means is that as a child and as you grow up, you need to be having those skills that will be relevant for the world of work in future. For the parents, it's also to encourage them to be there for the children, encourage them to work with the children, and also find mentors that can help the children as and when that is required. Because at the end of the day, what we want to see is that we have children who grow up to become employees, to become employers. I must also make mention for the children, please be grateful for the work that and everything that your parents provide at home, because sometimes you may be comparing yourself with the other children. No, the other parents are doing better, the other parents are doing this. It is not easy for the parents. This much we have to emphasize. Do not, as a child, have that entitlement mentality, because normally and in many cases the parents and the guardians are trying to do their level best. They wake up every day to go for work or to do business because they want to provide for the children. So what we encourage the children is also to have a heart of appreciation, and also to be able now to also contribute whatever they can contribute, do whatever you can do at home, and as you grow in your career, you will then find that at the time that you are all grown up, you are then able to contribute more to the welfare of the world and the country at large. I think that is what I can say in my concluding remarks.
Okay, so we have a text message here from Makalicha from the Kulu Western Province, and she's asking, what causes children not to stick to one career?
Yeah, so for children, really, when you are growing up, you are being exposed to so many things. So don't think that you are actually going to make a decision about your career just from the very beginning. You allow yourself to learn more and more from other things, and as you grow up.
So dear viewers, that's all for today. Hope you have enjoyed and learned as much as we have. I have learned a lot myself about careers. Wouldn't you say, Jean?
I've learned a lot as well, and I've learned that our parents can also influence in the choices that we make. And thank you so much for watching us. You're watching us on channel 279 DSTV, channel 27 Go TV, and channel 102 on Topstar. Thank you so much to all those who are watching us on our social media platforms. That's Facebook, KBN TV, Instagram, KBN TV, YouTube, as well as X, formerly known as Twitter. From me and my colleague,
it is bye-bye. See you next time.